Hi Luxons, my name is Arik Levy. I am the founder of Luxor One, and today I want to share with you the story of the company, how it grew, how it evolved, and how we got to where we are today. So the story starts with my background and my journey. I grew up on the East Coast, Massachusetts, went to college out there and started my career at General Electric. At the time, it was the largest company in the world, over 200,000 employees, and I went through their management leadership program. On the computer side, I was a computer major. And while it was a great company and the training was fantastic, I just realized I didn't really like working at a big company. I was a small cog in a big wheel and so far removed from the customer, so unable to make much of an impact. And so I decided, hey, I want to go work for a small company. Went to go work at a startup out in Vermont, and it was a great experience. Got to learn a ton, and really found that I enjoyed working in a small company and really making a change. Unfortunately, that company, I learned a lot of lessons there, but it really didn't succeed. And so when that company closed down, it gave me an opportunity to move to California and start working during the dot-com days, 2000. I got to start working for a tech company out there. 2000 bust kind of happened, and in San Francisco in 2000, things really calmed down. There wasn't much work, and I ended up taking a job about an hour and a half away in Santa Rosa. And I was commuting about an hour and a half each way for 5-6 years, and started reading a lot of books, started really educating myself on entrepreneurship, and realized, hey, if I ever have a good idea, I'm going to give it a go. I was about 25 at the time, and that's when I came up with the concept of laundry locker. It was really sort of based on the issue that I lived in an apartment building. I could never get my dry cleaning done, and so there was actually a dry cleaner in the building. I would drop my laundry off outside of my door. They would come and pick it up, service it, put it back in front of my door, and I'd pick it up when I got home at night. But it wasn't very secure. I felt like there could be a better way, and so my concept was, hey, if there was a locker and I could drop my laundry off in the locker, that would solve a lot of my problems. And so that's how Luxor One was born. I was fortunate enough to work at a very entrepreneurial company. They were very supportive of me going off and starting my own thing, and gave me 6 months to kind of phase out of my existing role and into my new role. And that was the birth of Laundry Locker. This picture here is literally me doing deliveries. It was a photo shoot, but in the beginning, I did it all. So I sold my car, ripped the back seats out of the new car, put a hanger bar in there. I would drive down to LA in a Penske truck and pick up a whole load of lockers, load them into my apartment building. You couldn't even move. The whole apartment was filled with lockers. I was out there installing lockers during the day. I would do information sessions at night. I would pick up the laundry in the morning and deliver it back in the afternoon. So I was doing it all. It was a real roll up your sleeves, try to prove out this business model and see if it works. And luckily, it worked. We tried and within about 3 years became the largest dry cleaner in San Francisco. This was one of the first innovations really in the dry cleaning industry that's happened in a very long time. And so Laundry Locker was successful, though it wasn't a massive business. Dry cleaning itself is a very challenging and difficult business, very labor intensive. On the sales side, we were trying to convince people of a different way to do their laundry. But we grew the company and overall it became very successful. So much so that people started reaching out to us all over the world who wanted to have a similar solution to Laundry Locker. So we looked at a couple different paths of expanding ourselves and franchising, and what we realized was the real value was in our software. The software that we built was called Drop Locker. Drop Locker was the software that ran Laundry Locker, and we started licensing it out to dry cleaners all over the world. Some of the largest dry cleaners in the world were and are still running that software. Sankasex, who's the largest dry cleaner in the world, runs it. There's a cleaner in Japan who's the largest dry cleaner in Japan. Tide Cleaners in the US runs it. So the software became a really fun and exciting part of our business. And we realized that was actually more the profitable side of our business was the software. But this is sort of how Luxor One was born, because in 2005, when I started Laundry Locker, there was very few package deliveries. I'd go into a building, there'd be 4 or 5 deliveries. Now in 2013, 14, we'd see 50 or 60 package deliveries in that same apartment building. And so between what we were seeing in San Francisco and what all of our resellers and our people who are using our software across the globe were saying is like, we need to solve the parcel problem, and can we use these lockers to do so? So that's how Luxor One was born. This here is a picture of our first lockers that we installed at the Ven on Market, as the location in San Francisco, and we were fortunate enough for them to give us the opportunity to put these lockers in that building. We quickly realized that we had a problem on our hands. This here is a picture of our first delivery at the Ven on Market from the UPS driver, and you can see about a third of those parcels we had a problem with. Either they wouldn't fit in our normal locker. Some of them, they had a lot of corporate housing, so the person that it was addressed to wasn't in the feed of residents that we received. And so literally out of this problem, several of our patents were developed. You know, the patent we have around resident not known, our house account as we call it, it came out of this first delivery. So not only being solutions driven, but also responding rapidly. Within about 4 weeks, we had an oversized locker solution. We had a solution for residents not found. We really use this as an opportunity to learn, and I like to tell people, like, you're going to learn 10 times more literally the first day that you get a product out into market than you will in the year that you've designed the product. So it's really important to get the product out there, get it out in front of customers, and that's where you're really going to iterate and build the winning solution. The other piece that really led to our success was the reseller network. So when we go back a couple slides and you look at all those people who are using the drop locker software, they all became resellers of the Luxor One solution. They were knocking on doors trying to sell lockers for dry cleaning, and it was really just natural for them to start selling Luxor lockers. And so really that was what allowed us to scale our sales team nationwide incredibly fast and really be, make ourselves one of the leader in the space. As you know, multifamily expanded very well, but we had to get out of multifamily and expand our business beyond that. The first area that we saw a lot of growth was in the retail side, and I'll go into that in a minute. We also saw office really taking off, although with COVID-19 that really has trailed, and then universities being a big area for us. We now have our team that focuses on all kinds of different opportunities, whether it be with mail services or libraries or municipalities. Lots of exciting opportunities for lockers. But for us, one of the main inflection points was when we got into retail. So the first deal we landed in retail was Home Depot, one of the largest retailers in the world, and quite an amazing, exciting opportunity. But it really changed everything for us. And so, you know, one of the things that's allowed us to grow and be successful while raising almost no money was the fact that we charged a 50% deposit. And so that 50% deposit would allow us to buy our lockers, install them, and then get the other 50%, which would help us continue to run our operations. When we landed a large retailer like Home Depot, that's not how it works. We had to go out and build millions of dollars of inventory, install it, get paid 90 days later. Wasn't really the same economics. And so that was the time when we went out and said we need to go raise some money. And so we went out, we actually brought on some bankers and went out to try to raise some venture capital, as well as potentially talk to strategic acquirers. And so we had several offers on the table to acquire the company, and landed up selling the company to Assa Abloy. The main reason we chose Assa Abloy was because when we were working through the deal, they were going to really allow us to be autonomous. Assa Abloy hasn't done anything in the locker space, anything with parcel delivery. They're primarily a lock company. So strategically this worked with them, but they didn't really know anything about running a locker company, which has been beautiful. It's allowed us to continue to run, to have our culture, to keep our name, to run our organization just like we want to, yet have the backing of a $10 billion company where we want to invest in new and exciting ideas. From a strategic perspective, one of the best things that we did was develop our 3HAG, which is a 3-year highly achievable goal. And this is what guides the direction of the company. So obviously maintaining and continuing in the business that we're on is paramount, but we also need to know where we're going and be able to communicate that clear to all of our constituents. And so you'll see the 3HAG on the wall. We just worked on a new one, but really the last one was how do we generate meaningful revenue on a per delivery basis? And that's really where we've been striving, and we're starting to make really great headroads in that direction. The solution that we came up for solving that was Harbor. And so many of you have hopefully heard about Harbor. You've seen some of the lockers. We're starting to roll this out. It's pretty exciting. But Harbor is a locker that doesn't require power. It runs on batteries. It doesn't require internet. It uses the user's cell phone to run the internet. And so you can imagine we're able to do pallet jackable. We can just roll them into a location, drop them off, and they're live. And what this does is it enables all kinds of entrepreneurs and other companies around the world to use their app to open this locker. So you can imagine if you went and ordered some food on DoorDash, the DoorDash driver would use the DoorDash app to deliver it to a harbor locker. You would then get a notice saying your order's ready to be picked up. You go into the DoorDash app, you pop open the locker, and you pick up your food. You could use the UPS app to drop off a parcel to be shipped, or an Airbnb app to pick up the keys. And so this new platform, we believe, is really the future of Luxor One. The other main initiative that I work on right now is Luxor One Ventures. So Luxor One Ventures is a venture fund that I've created in conjunction with Assa, Abloy, where we invest in companies that are doing interesting things in the locker space. So whether it be new apps and new ideas that are going to be built on top of harbor, or new types of locker concepts like food lockers or kayak rental lockers, those are the types of investments we're making. So it's really just an opportunity to grow this whole industry. I firmly believe that you'll start seeing lockers on every corner for all kinds of different use cases here in the next few years. And so not only do we want to be a major player in that platform, but we also want to be a major player in making that ecosystem and the economics of that ecosystem succeed. I think one of the most important things at Luxor One is that everybody here have an entrepreneurial mindset. How do you start thinking about different ways to solve problems? How do we be solutions driven, respond rapidly? Roll up your sleeves and don't be afraid to do things. The people who get rewarded in this organization are the ones who come up with great ideas, who roll up their sleeves and do it themselves, right? I mean, it's one thing to come up with an idea, but an entrepreneur is not about coming up with ideas, it's about actually executing on those ideas, right? So how do you come up with an idea, execute on it with limited resources, and bring something to the table that we can then implement? I mean, we've done some hackathons. I've seen incredible things out of there. I mean, some of the best ideas that we've had in this organization have come out of our employees being out there in the field, touching the product, suggesting ways that we can do things better. So keep up that entrepreneurial mindset, and that's what will take you a long way in this organization and really help us continue to grow. With that, I thank you for everything you do for Luxor One. You guys are the blood of this organization. Keep up the great work. If you want to follow me or be in touch, connect with me on LinkedIn. You can just scan that QR code, and I look forward to continuing the conversation.